Well, today is the second day of the USCCB's spring meeting. Debate and vote to draft a document on the Eucharist is a priority, but the nation's bishops also have other agenda items. The National Review Board's chair, Susan Healy, addressed compliance with the 2002 Charter for Protection of Children and Young People. The bishops approved canonization processes for 2 servants of God, and they are weighing approval for a statement on ministry to Native Americans and new translations of liturgical text. But the main focus is on the Eucharist and its role in the church today. Joining us now for analysis is Dr. Matthew Bunson, Executive Editor and Washington Bureau Chief for EWTN News. Dr. Bunson, welcome back. Always so great to be with you. So tell us about the meetings today and, in particular, the meaning of the Eucharist in the life of the church.
Well, compared to the fireworks that we saw yesterday at the very start of day one, today, to use a term that is often embraced by those in the Vatican, it was almost serene in the way that much of the conversation took place. It got a little caustic later in the afternoon once they actually got to the discussion and then the debate over that very document you just referenced on the Eucharist and the life of the Church. But for the most part, it was very businesslike. They moved very swiftly through the agenda. Now we'll see what actually happens with this document. It will be subject to vote. It needs a majority vote to proceed in the creation of a draft. But we'll see. One of the other really striking things about this today was that Bishop Kevin Rhodes, the chairman of the USCCB Doctrine Committee, who is sort of the shepherd of this whole process, had an opportunity to spell out, not just for the bishops, but for everyone, what's really in this document. And I think it was a very clarifying moment both for the bishops and for a lot of Catholics.
Yeah, Matthew, how do you see this all playing out?
Well, we'll know tomorrow in terms of the vote, and I think it is very likely that this is a document that's going to be approved by the bishops for a drafting. Now the process begins, and this was part of the debate today, of what sort of amendments, what sort of changes, what exactly this final document is going to look like. All eyes then are going to move to the work of the committee and its consultations with a variety of other committees, part of the USCCB, and consultation with individual bishops and experts. I think we can anticipate the likelihood of some kind of a draft at the November meeting of the bishops, where presumably they're all going to be in person. And that's where I think we'll see some additional fireworks once they actually have something in hand.
And what were some of the highlights today, maybe for you, and what can we expect for tomorrow?
Well, the highlights today is, as you listed a few of them, one that really stood out to me was the request for a draft vision document for Native American ministry. I think that's something that historically is going to be very important. I think it is an outreach that is going to be very timely given the many challenges we've had in the past in Native American ministry. We also had the 2 causes that you noticed of Father Verbis Fleur, a priest, a chaplain who died in 1944, and Marinus LaRue, who was a merchant marine captain who saved 14,000 Korean refugees during the Korean War. Both of them have their causes now progressing, and the bishops clearly recognize that these are 2 potential modern saints. The other thing to note is the National Review Board report that we got an update on where we are with the clergy sexual abuse scandal, and I think we can safely say in the general sense that we continue to make real progress. Tomorrow we'll be focusing very much on the Eucharistic revival, which is a kind of document that dovetails perfectly with what the bishops are talking about today with Eucharistic coherence. That is going to be an important moment for this conference as well.
Matthew, thank you so much. We're always so grateful for your analysis. Dr. Matthew Bunson, Executive Editor and Washington Bureau Chief for EWTN News. Thanks again.
Good to be with you.